Hey there, comic book fans. I am back from the comic shop again this week with a nice, easy 6 comics. 5 were on my pull list, 1 I pulled off the shelf. I think I saw it was coming out and it interested me. I caught the cover and was like, I think I was interested in this one, so I picked it up. But we'll start out with our top of the printer museum covers this week that sat out on my printer for me to look at. We've got Journey, The Adventures of Wolverine McAllister, number 11, by William Mesner Loebs. 1984, it's got a signed year on that. Just there's Wolverine McAllister in his, looks like an animal skin canoe paddling down the river. And then we have, of course, the Avengers 162. What was this year? 1977. George Perez and Pablo Marco doing this cover. And it's funny, I saw this one somewhere online. I think someone was showing it off or something. I was like, I want to put that cover out this week. So I did. This is just when I first started reading the Avengers. I think 160 may have been the first issue where I started collecting it regularly as a kid. 77. So now I'll put these 2 away and pick out 2 more to see. Let's see what comics we got. We have got Dark Ride, number 10. This is the one that's about the amusement park that's based on, it has a horror theme, so it's based on horror stuff. Except there's real horror behind it. The guy who originally did it, who put it together, made a deal with some demons to get this park together. And we finally found out that, and this is many years later, that, and his kids are, I think they're both in their early 20s, right out of college. And it turns out he promised the demon his kids in order to get power to make this park. So, who's doing this one? Joshua Williamson, creator, writer. Andre Bresson, creator, artist. Adriana Lucas, colorist. And Pat Brousseau on the letters. That's been a fun one. Oh, there's a nice splash. And like bad things have been happening to people in the park and the kids lately. So we'll see where that one's leading. Then we've got World Tree, issue number 7. This is the cyberpunk one with computer things taking over the world. It's been pretty cool. There was another cover to this that I really liked too. Let's see, doesn't have the cover. There was a really colorful, patterned cover that I was like, ooh, should I pick that one? But I kind of liked this one too, of the woman with a gun moodily standing in this alley. So it's like there were 2 covers that I liked of this. Maybe someday I'll pick up that other one, but not this week. But this has been a good story. I jumped on this one. My shop, I'd heard a bunch of people on YouTube say, have you checked out World Tree? And I hadn't. And my shop happened to have like 1 through 5 in various printings at one time. So I picked them all up one week and enjoyed it. And it just came back with issue 7. Good stuff. And then we've got Sire, Lost in Time. Who's doing this one? Mike Dolce is writing it, who I knew back in the day. And he penciled pages 1 to 13 too. And Sue Sherpa penciled pages 14 to 20. But this one is kind of an homage to 90s comics, but not to like the excessive 90 comics, to like the plots behind 90 comics, where there's complicated 90s superhero comics, I should say, where there's always like a guy behind the guy behind the guy having another plot going on. And Sire is a guy who behind him is some sort of alien intelligence in his suit that makes him judge other superpowered people and take their powers away if he can. Or if they're judged worthy to have the powers, they'll keep them. So that's been an interesting 2 issues. We'll see how the 3rd one is. Then we've got Local Girl, but there's a flip book. It's really Local Man. And who's doing this one? Tim Seeley is writing it, I think, in Tony Fleece. Or is it Tony Fleecs? There's our... Since that one's set up like a 90s... It's a flip book because the... oh, it's in black and white for some reason. I guess that's the flip book. I guess they're doing a 90s black and white thing. The regular book is just the story that's going on of this disgraced superhero who has to move back to his own hometown. In disgrace. Nobody likes him there. And he's kind of getting involved with some mysteries and things. And the first story had a lot to do with him, the super team he was disgraced from. And then there's usually a flashback on the flip side. A little 6-page story, like a 90s story of him with the super team. So that's been a fun one. Really enjoying that one. And then we've got Tony S. Daniel Edenwood. This one's feeling thin. This must be a 22-pager. Issue number 4. And like I said, this one, I've been enjoying this one. Well, what surprised me was how good the writing is. I've been really enjoying the writing on this one. It's a fantasy story about these, humans. This like fantasy world is encroaching in our world, and some of these human beings have got trapped in that fantasy world, and that's one of them right there. Or this may be one of them right here, or this may be the guy who mentored him and then he took over for him. And there's a weird thing with time moving in different ways in different parts of this fantasy world. So it was all these kids who were teenagers. They're probably around 14, 15, 16 when they ended up getting swallowed up by this world. And they got separated. And some of them are in their 20s now. Some of them in their late teens. So it's like time moved differently for each of them. But it's been a good series, I gotta say. Good 3 issues. I'm sure the 4th will be good too. Then here's the one I picked up off the shelf. Oni Press, Jill and the Killers, number 1. It says a double-sized and deadly thriller. And this one was $6.99, so $7. But it's double-sized. There's the back cover. Who's it by? Olivia Quertero Briggs, Roberta Ingranata, Warina K. Sahadewa, and Haley Rose Leon. There's all their names there. I don't know what this is about, but I flipped it open, and the artwork kind of caught my eye, and I went, I think I read something about this at some time. And I remember saying, oh, I think I'm interested in that one, but I didn't put it on my pull list to get the first issue. So I saw the first issue here. And I was like, all right, we'll give it a read. Looks like it's a high school kid. Don't know what the thriller aspect is, but I figured double-length thriller, I'll give it a read. Let me show you a little bit of my work back here. What do we got? Another Dreams of Things covered. I showed you Gatsby last week. Now we're back to a Dreams of Things. And this is kind of my, that one is colorful. That one's got all the tertiary colors in the background. Your orange, your purples, your greens, and then they're all done up in primary colors. Our 2 strange characters here. I don't know. This is sort of a design, sort of a Mondrianish design, and sort of a design I do for my Modman characters. But they usually have big blocks of color. Here they've got all sorts of little blocks of color. But I like the way this came out. I haven't. It's been covered up for a couple of weeks, so I haven't actually seen it till right now. I'm like that one came out pretty good. I like that one. Let's see when did I do it? 1/11/24. So good couple of weeks ago it's been covered. And I like to do that sometimes. If I finish something, I put it in the pile back here, and I don't look at it for a while. That way I can judge it better when I pull it out a week or 2 later. And I think that one passes judgment with me. I like this. I like the swirling sort of colors in the background, along with his sort of swirling hair right there. It creates sort of a vortex in the middle here. That's kind of interesting. Of course, big, bright radiating. We got a vortex and big, bright radiating beams. All sorts of strange movement in that one. I like the way that one came out now that I look at this Gatsby I showed you last week. Alrighty. There you go. Some artwork, some comic books, and you guys have a good week out there.